A massive thank you to Riley, Runner, Orin, Chopper and FCS for subscribing to the channel. If you're already featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back with round 11 of our F1 22 My Team career mode. Yesterday we returned to the Austrian Grand Prix and of course our second sprint race of the F1 22 season. Now, if you missed out on the last video from from Britain even, I should say, I would definitely recommend going back and checking out before we jump into this one today. Of course, our home race, and feel like we're slowly but surely making progress with the car as well. They've currently got 1,000 R&D points waiting to be spent. They're starting to burn a bit of a hole in our pockets, so we might try and get another couple of upgrades onto the car. Oh, we can just about afford another rear wing upper flap upgrade there, and that should come ready just after the Hungarian Grand Prix there during the summer break before Belgium. Slowly applying more and more upgrades to the car at the moment. There you can see we've had still quite a few failures recently. Williams and AlphaTauri both breaking free ever so slightly at the moment there, but one upgrade going on each department early on in the campaign. You know, we've got to continue this forward progress. You know, the likes of Aston Martin, Williams and ourselves, we have closed up to the Alpines and the AlphaTauris of this F1 world there, so not too far away from hopefully being in with a fight for points each and every week there. But yeah, like I said, if you missed out on the last video, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. And of course, if you're new around here as well, it would be greatly appreciated if you would hit that subscribe button as well. Trying to hit 70,000 subscribers at the moment, and yeah, if you could help us get one step closer, it would be greatly appreciated. Of course, the big goal of 100k by the end of the year still, and hopefully we can try and be on track to hit that there. But championship-wise though, Charles Leclerc on 219 points there, 38 now clear of his teammate Carlos Sainz. Max Verstappen in P3, just 4 ahead of Lewis Hamilton, and then Sergio Perez and George Russell jostling down in 5th and 6th place. Red Bull a 13-point lead over Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship, but both teams a long way off Ferrari on 400 points there. Ferrari have won every single race so far this year, so I don't think we're going to see anything change this weekend. There's Sainz with 3 race victories to Charles Leclerc's 7 early on in the campaign. It has been a dominant display by Ferrari, but when will it come to an end? That is the real question then. Of course, the Austrian Grand Prix, a big Max Verstappen track in recent years, so if anywhere you think that run could come to an end, surely you think it would be this weekend. But yeah, like I mentioned though, Austria, our second sprint race of the season. Of course, if you missed out on the Haas Road to Glory video from Imola, you'll know now we're doing the qualifying and sprint race in one video, and then the full Grand Prix in the other. Just means, you know, we're not continually doing like hour-long episodes of this series. So yeah, today it's qualifying and sprint race time. We'll be back tomorrow, of course, ready for the feature. Let's get into it then. First of all, as always, we've got a Pirelli Hotlap to navigate. Right, well, here we are then for our second autocross event of the F1 22 season. We got 47 gates in the all-new Ferrari Roma here. A 136 will get us the gold score, and not too sure how Red Bull will feel. Their home race, and we've decided to put a Ferrari out onto the circuit. But anyway, got to try and get on with it then. Like we said, 47 gates ahead of us. Love these autocross events on F1 22, but they really do require a lot of concentration here. Normally, first couple of runs is sort of just learning where they go, and then after that, hopefully we can try and sort of get the maximum time out of them. As, I mean, that is very difficult. They're right up towards the grass, and that is immediately going to be our first one hit. Just going to try and see our way around this first attempt and just get my eye in. Oh, a lot of wheel spin from this Ferrari there. But yeah, must admit, I know I say it every time, but loving the supercars on F1 22. Not loving that force feedback through the wheel, however. There's this thing, I think, trying to lift off. So, I mean, first run. Oh! Very first run there. We just miss out by 0.2 of a second. We can definitely get a gold there. Remember, we hit that cone, so this could have easily been like a 131. This car, though, I'm liking it. There we go, up to the line. That's a 129.7. Absolutely obliterated that one. That's going to be a nice gold score to kickstart the weekend. But yeah, let's move in then here to free practice for the Austrian Grand Prix. Here we are then, back at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian GP weekend. I've had many, many memorable races around here in the past. Fingers crossed today can be another one here as we immediately jump in to my fuel simulation run. Apparently now, got to be even more careful of that curb through the first corner. And luckily, of course, no new chicane here in a Formula 1 car. Obviously, they've got the new chicane in MotoGP now. But yeah, I don't think F1 is going to have to be dealing with that because this braking zone up at turn 3 I've seen many iconic scenes over the year, but got to try and get some purple scores. Had a really solid weekend at Silverstone in free practice. Race didn't quite go perfectly, but I feel like, yeah, we're still every week making strong progress, learning more about the car, and feeling that we are making good progress as well. As, yeah, fingers crossed we can get more R&D points. That means more upgrades, and that means, hopefully, we'll be able to start scoring more points. So out of the final corner we go, only just going to claim the purple. And of course Austria this weekend means we've officially overtaken real life Formula 1. Only took me a week. Just jumping in then to our race simulation run here. Of course the Red Bull Ring as well, the shortest track in terms of time on the F1 calendar. Not quite sure we'll see lap time sub 1 minute on this game unless there is a huge amount of upgrades to be done on the cars. But that was always the fun challenge, mainly back on F1 2020. Rather than F1 2021, just because the cars were slightly faster. So a little bit of understeer at the top of the hill. That's not going to be a good way to start this programme. Quite that issue up at turn 2. Are still going to get the green score on the first lap. I'm hoping, therefore, this programme should be pretty easy then, without any mistakes. Just heading down in towards the final couple of turns then, hopefully to finish off my race simulation run. Just trying not to take too many risks through these final couple of turns there. Chuck the car through, of course. The ground effect really does carry the car through the turns. And that's going to be a 107.5 exactly. Another 225 R&D points, another purple score. Really getting into a good routine with them at the moment. 5 in a row now, including last weekend. Right, at the final corner then, about to jump into my qualifying simulation run. Of course, need a good qualifying here to set us up nicely for the sprint race. Meant to be all sunny over the course of Saturday here from Austria, and the sun just starting to poke out here as well at this Spielberg circuit as we head up the hill in towards turn 2. Trying to break at about the 100-metre ball there. That's pretty tidy. It's just losing a little bit of pace there. You just can't quite get the traction the game wants from you up at the top of the hill there, unless of course you start running some cheeky traction control, which I've certainly got no intention of doing. Chuck the car out the final couple of turns then. That's only going to be the green score this time, not quite purple, but you know what? Hey, that was definitely we were 2 tenths up. What's that about? Oh well, anyway, let's get into qualifying, I suppose. That was very weird. Formula 1 is finally back in 2022, and now you can rep your favourite teams. Of course, using the F1 store, every team now has merch lineups available, whether you're an Aston Martin fan, a Williams fan, Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, the choice is completely up to you. But yeah, check out the F1 merch store down below for all the official releases from all of the teams. And of course, as always, if you use our links as well, you massively help support the channel. So yeah, give it a look and see if there's anything you like. Well, apparently Lance Stroll and I trying to murder each other before we even got into our qualifying lap. They're not too sure what that was all about. There's Latifi now, I think, getting a bit caught out and stuck in the way as well. But 15 minutes left on the board here in Q1. Obviously, Austria, the shortest track, like I said, in terms of time. But still very, very difficult, very, very technical to try and get one lap completely hooked up here. Super satisfying when you get a lap nailed around this track. But not so easy to do so there as we get a nice run out of turn 1 as we head up the hill. I still don't believe, I know I say it every time we come here, but I don't believe that's turn 2. This is turn 2 at the top of the hill there as you slam on the anchors at the 100-metre board there. Try and put the power down of the exit. And now, I mean, we've still got Lance Stroll all over the back of me. We battled out under the AI control, but please, Lance, don't go for it. Lance has gone for it. That's off. What's that? Come on, man. Oh, that's annoying. Luckily, of course, with Austria being such a short lap, does mean you can try and get all 3 runs in. It's now down to P22 at this point of the session. 4th gear that time round through turn 1. Don't feel that was as quick as the first time, but at least we now just got to try and get a lap on the board here. Only halfway through this Q1 session. Would like to make it back into Q2 like we did at Silverstone. Would like to make that a regular occurrence again as we near the halfway stage of Season 1. Feel like we're pretty good over 1 lap pace on F1 22 so far. It is just quite difficult trying to work out the traction zones, but yeah, I feel like if we can make that a good regular habit on this game, I'd be pretty happy still early on in the year. I'd just like to be able to score some points more often as well. There is down through the tricky double left-hander. Always difficult. That car wants to pull you away from the apex, but keeping it clean and tidy so far. As we just got a couple more corners to go. Mick Schumacher currently down on 106.2. Haas were a bit disappointed to see both cars out in Q1 last weekend at Silverstone. But round in the final corner we go. Up towards the start-finish line. We are going to do a 106.1. P17 there. And of course, Austria, short track, tight margins. Less than a 10th away. Getting ready then for my final run here in Q1 as Charles Leclerc just a little bit in the way there. But like I said, we're only a 10th away from Valtteri Bottas at the moment. But we need to try and find some time as Charles, no! I thought you were coming into the pit lane here. Charles Leclerc might be about to ruin my qualifying run here as we head back down towards turn 1. I'm going to have to turn in. I'm going to have to turn in there. I apologise, Charles, but it had to be done. As Charles Leclerc there loses out through the first corner. We still lose about a 10th of a second. But, I mean, it's just so annoying the way the AI do that. Like I said, I thought Charles was diving into the pit lane. He had plenty of time to lift out of it and give himself more space to start his final lap here in qualifying. I mean, he'll make it through into Q2 anyway. Don't think we're going to suddenly see Ferrari fall off the pace here in Austria. But as we head down the hill, lap just starting to unfold ever so slightly. We need to get a tidy run out of this corner. There's everyone improving around me. We need to be brave through the second half of this lap there. Try and get the car down to the apex and finding a little bit more as we slice our way through Sector 2 there. Carlos Sainz now fastest at the moment as we're about a 10th up there. The Dutchman, Max Verstappen, goes fastest now as you would expect around Spielberg, but a horrible line through the penultimate corner there. Attack the curbs though through the final turn up towards the line. It's going to be about a 2/10 improvement, but it won't be enough. It's P21. Charles Leclerc, man, why? Well, there we go, then the end of Q1, and George Russell there fastest as Lance Stroll's picked up a penalty. I guess that was for barging me onto the grass. No, it was illegal blocking there, so not too sure how he's managed that one. And to be honest, not too sure how he didn't get a penalty for blocking me there. But look how close it was between myself there. We beat Drugovich by 1,000th of a second up to the line there, but less than a 10th away from Nicolas Latifi and Daniel Ricciardo. I think, to be honest, had we nailed the lap there, Charles Leclerc, I thought he was safely through into Q2, but apparently not there. So Charles Leclerc, that's probably why he tried to be really aggressive down towards turn 1. But like I said, he should have lifted out and let us have track position there. So definitely feel we could have been close to Q2 pace. Luckily, of course, we got the sprint race to try and recover to where I would have wanted to qualify. But let's jump into it then here from the Austrian Grand Prix. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Russell, Sergio Perez and Norris, Bottas, Fernando Alonso, Magnussen and Sebastian Vettel, Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Alex Albon and Tsunoda, Joe, Ocon, Charles Leclerc and Pierre Gasly, Latifi, Ricciardo, Mr. Monaco and Felipe Drugovich. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Right, well here we are then, down on the grid, ready for the second sprint race of our F1 22 My Team career mode here. 12 laps ahead of us from the Austrian GP circuit, and luckily this time around, no changeable conditions to spice things up. But yeah, 1,000th of a second, the gap between myself and our teammate at the end of qualifying. I don't want to gamble it on a set of soft compound tyres. They can normally do about 12 laps, but I don't think it's worth the gamble at this stage of the game. But need to be aggressive off the start here at Imola? I'm getting muddled up with my sprint races here at Austria. Fingers crossed we can get a nice, clean, tidy start. Of course, need to work the rubber on the formation lap. But yeah, definitely feel like there's a good chance to progress today. I think we're going to have to be brave into turn 2 is basically what I'm saying. As that was one of my better getaways on a formation lap. Well, sprint race Saturday once again then here from Austria, and we, like I said, definitely have to be brave at the start. We've got very little to lose and a lot to gain here in the sprint. And yeah, fingers crossed we can keep it clean and tidy early on and try and make some forward progress there. Ricciardo really not on a good run of form over the last couple of races. He'll start down in P20 here. There's Latifi just in front of him. I can't believe we got out-qualified by Nicholas Latifi on F1 22, but getting our grid slot lined up. Purple once again, as ready on the grid then here for the Austrian GP, waiting on those 5 red lights, and it is going to be 5 lights and lights out and away we go here in Spielberg. Actually, one of my better starts as we head down towards turn 1, so clearly working the rubber nicely on the formation lap as we're going to try and look around the outside of a couple of cars. They use the curbs, have to take off the escape road at turn 1, and Latifi wants to give me absolutely no room whatsoever there. So what started out as quite promising little getaway, we just got boxed out down at turn 1 there, up the hill through turn 2, as up the inside we go of absolutely everyone. As we get towards the hairpin here, sprint race in Austria is going to be wild as everyone's trying to make up moves. We get a warning for a collision with Esteban Ocon, as Charles Leclerc there now trying to defend from the Alpine as we head down the other side of the hill. Oh, a little bit more contact with Esteban Ocon there. Really struggling behind the Alpine early on. Clearly not my best friend. We're going to give him a couple of love taps. I think that's Zhou Guanyu having a look up the inside of Pierre Gasly as we head down the hill. And I think Latifi is going to be trying to do the same thing to us in just a moment, especially if we hold some lines like that. I know I mentioned it at Silverstone last time round, but the AI is so frantic on lap 1. Certainly makes things difficult to commentate there as Charles Leclerc and Zhou Guanyu side by side through the final couple of turns. We've got yellow flags out. Ocon gets caught out and all that. We'll have another place. Drugovich is out. And we've got a VSC. What happened to Felipe? Riding on board then with Drugovich down in towards the final couple of turns there. Ricciardo and Latifi make contact. Drugovich nowhere to go. And our teammate out on lap 1 of the sprint race. This is going to be carnage. VSC about to come to an end then. And we're about 2 seconds under the delta at the moment. As there we go, green flag racing once more here in Austria, and it's Charles Leclerc, the next man on our old hit list, but Zhou Guanyu just in front of him, I'm sure is going to be under a lot of pressure very quickly. They're still just trying to hang on early then in this Grand Prix. Felipe Drugovich, I think is that his first retirement of the year, though? I think it is for our Brazilian teammate. He's not been quick, but he has always made it to the end there, as Charles Leclerc again going to try it up the inside of Zhou Guanyu. There's more carnage just unfolding up the road there. Pierre Gasly out of shape out of the final corner. Zhou Guanyu's going to get caught out. Charles Leclerc's going to go to the inside. Ocon is going to go to the inside as well. What am I meant to do? Down in towards someone there. The answer is just skim into the back of Zhou Guanyu there. Even I should say, as Ocon now sneaks back past me. But we're going to try and come back at him as we head up the hill then. Now Daniel Ricciardo's trying to get a look in as well. It's all kicking off still. Early on contact once more with Zhou Guanyu there. What's happening at the top of the hill? We've gone round the outside of 2 cars as we try and put the power down. This is just going to be carnage here in Austria. It's all over the back now of Pierre Gasly. Up the inside, we're going to have a look. A bit of a steamrolling move there, but matches the vibe so far in this Grand Prix. Zhou Guanyu going to sneak by as well. Frantic racing here in Imola. I keep saying Imola, I mean Austria. But now up into P16 there. Charles Leclerc's navigating his way through as well. We need to make progress early on. As there goes Charles Leclerc on Yuki Tsunoda. Back down towards turn 1. Tsunoda, of course, not one to back out of a fight. And clearly not that time round there, as we might now get a run on the Ferrari as we head up the hill. I don't think we're quite going to have the legs on him. And may as well save a little bit of battery still early on in this GP. As, again, the Alfa Romeo behind trying to close back in. But, yeah, I mean, this is just carnage here early on at the Red Bull ring. But, again, we just about get the power down. Is the Alfa Romeo going to be able to come back at me? Not quite this time. Again, Charles Leclerc inside in towards the final couple of turns. Certainly a move he likes to try and make a lot in this Grand Prix, but hasn't really worked for him so far. And once again, it's not going to, as we're going to get a nice run out of the final turn. But look how much power that Ferrari has got there to the outside of Charles. Looks like this time around Tsunoda got the DRS there. Can we do the old up and under? Yes, we can. And we overtake the championship leader here in the Austrian GP sprint race. Don't think we're going to be ahead of him for too long, but now all over the back of Tsunoda as we head up the hill. We can keep the DRS off Yuki. Might be able to move up to P14 here, and this would certainly be a pretty decent sprint race. Like I said, I wanted to try and recover back to where I'd hoped we could have qualified, and so far, we've done exactly that, and maybe a little bit more. Oh, there's 3 cars battling up the road as we head back down towards turn 1 as well. So maybe P14 might not be all we can get here. As again, all over the back of Tsunoda there. I think Charles Leclerc and Zhou Guanyu might have gone side by side back through turn 1 once again here. Are we going to be close enough to the AlphaTauri to go for a move? Up the inside, we're going to have a look. Get it parked on the apex, squeeze him out. And now up into P14 then here. As you can see, we've got a Haas, Lance Stroll and Alex Albon battling just up in front. I mean, we could get P11 in this race if things went our way. My height then, 2/3 distance of what has been just an absolutely insane sprint race there. That's a lot of curb through turn 1, but we'll get away with it. We need Stroll to start trying to attack. I want to say it's Mick Schumacher just up the road, but I don't think he's quite got the legs. Of course, we know how quick that Haas car is down the straights, of course, after driving it in the road to glory. But yeah, at the moment, though, everything suddenly is just kind of stagnated in this race. I guess the other real question is, can Charles Leclerc navigate Zhou Guanyu? And will he get close enough by the end to Tsunoda and I? 3 laps to go then. Gap to Albon still coming down ever so slightly, as this is quite possibly the hardest I've ever driven this car on F1 22 there. We are really throwing it around at the moment there. As all Albon, you can see how hard he's pushing as well. Just gets a little kick of wheel spin out of the first corner there. We do gain slightly on the Williams, as there we go, Stroll up the road. Having a look on Mick Schumacher as we get towards the top of the hill. I mean, we've got so many cars battling it out for all the places at the moment. And remember, none of these are even for points. They're just for a qualifying position. Ready for tomorrow's race there. Stroll can't quite pull off the move that time round. And if he can still keep harassing Mick even, I should say, there's definitely still the opportunity for Albon and I to try and sneak through. 2 laps to go then here from Austria. And this time round, Sir Lance doesn't try and make a move work on Mick Schumacher as we get to the top of the hill there. Albon and I just patiently waiting in the wings, as now Charles Leclerc taking big time out of all of us, including Yuki Tsunoda, who's still just sat behind me. Kind of forgot Yuki was there for a brief moment, but yeah, really just attacking the curb still, taking all the risks we possibly can. This sprint race has effectively felt like 12 qualifying laps, which is certainly not a recommended strategy in a qualifying session. Around in the final corner, though, about to start the last lap here from the Austrian Grand Prix. Looks like Sainz is going to keep the Ferrari streak alive there, but under immense pressure from the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, as Albon again just kicks up a little bit of grass through turn 1. We're going to try and drain the battery this time round. See if we can get close enough to the Williams at the top of the hill there, as there goes Stroll to the inside of Mick Schumacher. One final attempt at a move in this Grand Prix. Oh, we run horribly wide at the top of the hill there. That might allow Yuki Tsunoda to come back at me there as we join the circuit right alongside the AlphaTauri. Albon still trying to apply pressure to Lance Stroll as, up the inside of Yuki we go. That was not the finest move. We'll let Yuki have the position there. He actually gives me a barge in rage there. Charles Leclerc going to try and sneak by as well. Going to try and defend more from the Ferrari, but yeah, definitely going to let Yuki have the position. Oh, it was all going so well. And after all of that, oh no. Just like I said, 12 qualifying laps, never a good strategy on F1 22 there. But that has just been an absolutely chaotic sprint race here in Spielberg. And unfortunately for me, it's going to be another event where we've strong pace, but they're going to come away with it with absolutely nothing there. P20 in the end in Austria. That is heartbreaking.
The gap at the top of the championship has been cut down after a difficult race today for our championship leader. Let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, that wraps up the sprint. All that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
Well, that is absolutely heartbreaking there. Carlos Sainz takes 8 points out of Charles Leclerc in the Drivers' Championship. Verstappen P2 ahead of both of Mercedes, with Perez down in 5th place there. Lando Norris, Bottas and K-Mag round out our points finishers here from the sprint, with Alonso and Sebastian Vettel rounding out the top 10. But yeah, just got a bit too aggressive right towards the end there. The tyres started to give up, and that little mistake on the final lap really did cost me dearly there. Could have been starting P13, P14 in the feature race tomorrow, but instead it's only going to be P20 there. Drugovich not making it to the checkered flag. Very gutted for our teammate there. But championship-wise, though, the gap at the top still 30 points for Charles Leclerc. I'm sure he's going to recover to get a decent points haul tomorrow. No movement, though, in the Drivers' Championship. I don't think there should be any in the Constructors either. No, Haas now 2 points clear of Alpine, though. McLaren and Alfa Romeo just 1 point separating them as well. But thank you all so much for watching this sprint race. Absolute carnage, but would you expect any different on F1 22? We'll be back tomorrow ready for the full Grand Prix. Make sure you join us then. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.